My earliest memory, I guess, is like kindergarten or somewhere where we got an art activity and I loved it, or I was praised for it, like I was good at it. Because I remember being in, I think it was my mum's gym childcare, and there must have been a little competition and I won like an art thing. So I was like, okay, I like winning. I'm very competitive. So when I won that, I guess that encouraged me to keep going. And my parents are very creative too.
What sort of creativity are they into?
Well, my dad builds hot rods, which is like very hands-on, like sculptural. And my mum is very stylish and like into fashion. So I think I get that from her because I love clothes. I guess we were kind of in that environment where emphasis was on that like aesthetic, making things look good. I remember in kindergarten just loving doing, maybe it was a sensory thing, like, you know where you get the marbles and you put paint on them and you roll them around this tray?
That's cool.
It is so much fun. You should, I think I loved preschool.
Did you do art then throughout high school, like through school as a subject?
Yeah, I did in high school. I didn't really enjoy it in high school because I guess they have a certain curriculum. It's less creative and it's more academic. I never liked the academic side of art, like writing. I don't want to be writing words.
The fluff of art.
Yeah, I want to be making art. And sometimes it's a bit pretentious and like self-serving. But yeah, I think I love creating. I think my brain loves it. It's good for me. Makes me happy. I think a lot of artists could probably relate to that, just the making process.
So going through high school, studying it, maybe not really liking it because of what they were teaching.
Yeah.
Were you thinking then after high school, I may go into something creative or something arty, or what was your...
Well, I always was very self-driven with art. So even though I didn't enjoy art at school, I was always drawing, like in every subject, in the like, you know, in your notebook and at home, I was drawing a lot. I was just obsessed with getting better at drawing. And then I went to study architecture. So I did that for a year. And during that time, there was a subject where you do life drawing. And I was like, I would rather be studying this. So then I changed to art.
In your architecture degree, there's a subject where they go and do life drawing, like naked drawing in architecture. Yeah. That's so cool.
Architecture is very creative, and part of me wishes I stayed, but I think the reality of architecture as a job, I don't think it would have been for me, even though I love doing the technical side of like, I love house plans and like drawing on AutoCAD. I don't know, part of me wishes I stuck with it, but then another part of me is really happy I went to art school, even though they don't really teach you how to do anything there either.
Tell me your journey to art school. So you did architecture and then you're like, I love this life drawing element. So then you're like, I want to go and do art school.
Yeah. I guess I always just want to like try and like all I want to do is like be a full-time artist, but I don't know. It's just always in the back of my mind. And I was like, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to go study it. So I think I studied architecture in Canberra, moved back to Toowoomba for a year. And then I moved to Melbourne and went to RMIT, went to art school there, which was awesome. Like I love Melbourne, but I'm really happy to be back here now.
Course at uni, how long is the...
It was 3 years. It was a Bachelor of Fine Art, majoring in painting. And they really put a really good work ethic into you, like to tell you to take it seriously and to make work all the time and group critiques, and like it was really good. Part of me wishes I could do it again now that I'm older, because you know when you're young you don't really know yourself or know what's going on, and it was a new city. Like I came from Toowoomba to Melbourne and I didn't really understand what everything was. But yeah, it was great. And I did lots of electives in like printmaking and drawing, and it was an amazing opportunity.
So you did the uni.
Yeah.
You get to the end of it. Is there any like, are they preparing you for like careers, or like what's the next step then? Are they helping you, guiding you, or are you like, you just need to figure it out on your own? I think the next step you would go and do honours or a master's, which I didn't really want to do because I thought that's just going to be more academic stuff, and I think uni is a bit of a scam sometimes to get your money, because so many artists, you can be self-taught. It's still very legitimate.
A lot of people say to me, I wish I went to art school. And I'm like, you're not missing a lot. Like, you can learn so much now.
The good old University of YouTube.
Exactly. So much information is free. You could go and study more, or I decided to do a dip ed, like a 1-year education diploma. So then I became a teacher, which is good. But
Teaching art?
yes. But then I didn't end up teaching art. I just taught as like a relief teacher, contract to contract, terrible. Anyway, it was, it made me a bit tougher, but I'm not tough enough to keep doing it.
So where did you learn your craft now? Like, what's the medium you're currently sort of honing in on? How did you learn that, and why are you loving that medium?
I guess it's mainly oil paint, charcoal and graphite. I like to keep taking courses to learn. Like, I learnt from an artist called Ben Smith. He's Northern New South Wales. He's really great for drawing and painting. There's so many people who I've learnt from, and yeah, online as well. Just keep.
Did you learn that skill though at the uni as well?
They taught us some things, but a lot of things I've learnt like the hard way, just doing it myself, like repetition. But sometimes you get a really good teacher who can like change your life. The uni does teach you a little bit, but I'd say a lot of lecturers don't really have those skills. And then those skills aren't even valued at uni. Like, if you can paint like I do, I don't know. Maybe I just wasn't, I don't know.
You're teaching yourself.
Yes.
So you did this course with Ben.
Yep.
And he obviously inspired you enough to want to stick with that medium and that, like, portraiture. You seem to be a certain type style. You always are doing more portraiture. Yep. Why portraiture?
I don't know. I think I love that there are so many different faces and combinations of features, and I love features. I love ears and eyes, and I just like staring at them and figuring them out, and it's so satisfying if you can like paint it. With my main goal is to like capture the light. Like, I want something to look like, I want it to look 3D, but I also want it to have a certain like glow, or it's shiny, or it's it's all about light.
I've noticed a lot of your portraiture, and I don't know your previous work, but a lot of the stuff that you're doing now, you often have a male and female together, and you often have flowers. Do you know where that has stemmed from, or what's this fascination with the couple that seemingly are in love but maybe separated by something? Yeah.
It's all a fantasy, and I'm kind of starting to world build this kind of planet idea. Like, it's based on Saturn, where we have a different way of life, and that the fantasy is real, where there is romance, and there's like there are couples who actually work out. So I guess it's like
like the epitome of what a relationship should be like. You see that happening on Saturn because it doesn't happen on Earth.
Yeah, so I'm world building at the moment and starting my own reality, because I don't know, you hear a lot like that's unrealistic or it's unsustainable, and I guess that's true. So with my art, it's a bit of an escape. And I love the feminine and masculine, like the traditional, not the traditional roles, but the aesthetic. And I think I have in myself, I have both of those in me, like the masculine and feminine. Like, I love cars, but I love flowers. So I have this like traditionally opposing thing. Like, when I grew up, girls weren't like supposed to be into that stuff. But now there's like female race car drivers, and like it is getting way better. But yeah, I think that's something I think about, how I love masculine things and feminine, but I'm one person. Yeah.
Yes, totally. I was the tomboy, always. Always the tomboy. I was never really into the female-y things. I was into more of the, I don't know, interested in learning, and that wasn't seen as a feminine thing. To always be curious and learning was more like the masculine. So I totally relate.
Okay, great. I hope I'm making some sense. So I found this it's an IKEA, I think it's IKEA, shelving thing, and you can change the heights. And then I think I was stacking my canvases, but I want them to be separated and it's not good for them to touch. And I spend so much time on my art, I want to keep it, like, preserve it. So then I had an idea putting the doweling in, because I was going to get like sheets of wood to put in between, but just got my partner at the time to do that for me. I remember sawing the dowel and like sanding it, and then we'd like put it through, and I think we just put a bit of glue in the top or some kind of sealant. Pretty full. I probably could fit more in though.
It's so incredible. I'm definitely going to be stealing that idea. So
No,
I've been
it's
looking for a
great.
canvas solution.
Yeah, and I think the dowel is good because you want air circulation. You don't want things to get moldy or filled with those little bugs that eat.
I've had so many instances where I've broken canvases
Oh, no.
because of my poor storage. Like, is there like a holy grail tool that you can't live without?
My palette knife, because I need to mix a lot of colours a lot. And I don't like to use a brush because then the paint gets inside the bristles. Palette knife to mix colours, and then when the palette is done, a paint scraper to clean my glass palette, which gets very dirty.
How do you prepare your area before you start? So your palette, is it always clean? Is your canvas, are you priming it? What's your like steps that you take before you start painting?
Yeah, so with a canvas, it'll get like probably 10 layers of gesso, but in between each layer is like a wet and a dry sand. So
that's a lot of prep. So 10 layers in between, you do a sand as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
So if I like get a water bottle, like spray it, so the canvas is wet, and then use sandpaper, and it almost polishes the surface. And if I'm still not happy, I'll do another, like a thin layer of gesso, and just keep, it gets a bit obsessive. But if I don't do it and then I'm putting all these hours in and I see like a texture or something that's uneven, then that's very upsetting for me.
When you're starting your canvas, are you getting a reference photo? Are you drawing on the canvas? How are you getting your concept onto the canvas initially?
To get it onto the canvas, I'll get a sheet of paper the same size, draw up a grid, and I'll already have I'll make a digital collage on Procreate, and I'll get a grid on that, a grid on the piece of paper, draw it in pencil, and then on the back shade it with charcoal, and then the old way you put the paper on the canvas and the pressure of the pencil over the outline transfers the design onto there, the outline.
You've got your colours there. How do you know where to put your paint colours?
Sometimes I don't stick to it, but usually I'll have at the top white, and then it'll go tonally, so lightest to darkest. So white at the top, black at the bottom, or the pure pigment at the bottom, so whatever is straight out of the tube. Then it'll be like, they call it strings. So if you have one, like say you have red, so you'll have your pink to red, and then another string, maybe your greens, another string, another colour. Then sometimes you can mix in between those strings, and yeah, it can get very technical and over-controlling.
You need
just
a
like
big
me.
palette. With oil mixing, are you always mixing your colour on your palette before you place it on the canvas?
Yeah, always. Absolutely. Unless I'm blending something, then it will get blended on the canvas. Obviously, can't pre-blend something, but that can change the colour when you blend things. I more do, like, the canvas is dry and I'll paint like a little puzzle piece and then go to the next one. But to blend something, you would do wet on wet. Otherwise, you can't blend it. Everything needs to be wet for it to change and mix together. Yeah.
Are you often going over the top? So once you've put one layer down,
Yeah.
Are you adding layers on top of that?
Yes, but I let it completely dry first, yeah. And then because my layers are quite thin, that will give it a lot more depth. So the more layers I put on top, it will have more depth. And that first layer, depending on the colour you're using, it's not opaque enough. So I'm just like, I'll just finish it and then go back over it. which probably isn't the most time efficient method.
How long does it take to dry before you can paint again on it?
Would probably, just to be safe, 2 days. It's not long because I do use such a small amount of oil paint. If you're putting it on thick, it's going to take a lot longer. And some people put it on very thick and it will never dry.
Hence why they do wet on wet, so they can just keep painting. Is that the reason?
I think that's fat over lean or lean over fat. There's like, so you want to start with oil paint, you want to start thin and get thicker over the time, because if you start thick, it's going to still be wet and then you put another layer on. And it's like when your nail polish doesn't properly dry and the like wrinkles, that top layer is dry and the underneath is still wet. So that's what happens if you don't do fat over lean. Yeah.
Any advice for someone wanting to start with oil painting? It seems to be the pinnacle of art, of fine art.
Yeah.
But it seems to be the most daunting for people. So often people won't even attempt it because of the fear.
I totally get that. Yeah. It is daunting, and it's so customizable to your private practice that everyone's going to tell you something different. I would say just go and do a course and just get told a few things, or watch a YouTube video and then just do it. Just keep doing it for a bit and you'll make mistakes, but you got to figure out what you like, because a lot of people won't like how I paint, but you got to find what you like to do. Is
that something you would do in the future? I know you do charcoal portrait painting.
Yep.
Do you do oil?
Workshops? I've done like an acrylic color mixing workshop. Just with oil, I'd want it to be very safe, like because of the solvents and the chemicals. So I'd have to make sure I really crack down on people being very careful with their solvents. But yeah, I think I would do that. Yeah.
Awesome. I'll come.
Yay.
What is the very first thing you do when you walk into your studio?
Yeah, I bring in a drink with me, whether it's water or tea or maybe a beer. And I put on a podcast. It's like my brain, when I put on a podcast, it's like, okay, we paint now. It's like really nice.
Recommendations for podcasts?
I listen to a lot of murder ones.
Like true crime?
A lot of crime,
yeah.
But they're like kind of more light. Like, so there's My Favorite Murder, which is very popular. And I listen to a lot of comedians as well. I think I want something positive and happy. And it keeps me company. I don't feel alone, and it's entertaining. It's fun.
And you're learning at the same time?
Yeah. Yep.
Talk me through the creative process. Do you need to do something before you can get into the creative process? Can you like wake up in the morning and just instantly paint, or do you need like a whole day to get into the process of painting?
That is something I do struggle with, especially depending when you get to that. I get to a stage in my painting where I struggle to keep going. Like I'm just sick of it, or it's in the ugly stage, and I will procrastinate, and it's just that fear in running in the back of your mind. So sometimes it will take me all day to get in there. Sometimes if I just tell myself I'll just do it for like 20 minutes and then I just don't stop. Like try trick yourself. Yeah, it can be really difficult to get going. Sometimes if I go on Instagram and look at other artists or listen to a motivational podcast, I'm like, yes, I can do this, let's go. Or just like really lower my expectations, like let's just do this one section and then that's enough. It's pretty mentally draining the way I paint. And life is too, so by the end of the day when you come home from work, sometimes it's too hard to get in there. But when I do, I feel so much better after. It's a bit like going to the gym.
There's sometimes when I'm doing my artwork where it feels like it's just coming out of me.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't feel like work.
Yes.
And then there's sometimes when it feels like work. Mm-hmm. Do you have those moments, and do you know why or what's happening in your life that's causing those different?
Absolutely. I definitely have those moments. Yeah, I guess it just is how much mental capacity you have. If you're in a good place and you're emotionally regulated, I think it is way easier to sit down and be like, have a positive attitude about making, because creating is so vulnerable. Sometimes you're like, you can be so hard on yourself. Like if you're super negative, you're not going to produce good work and you're not going to want to keep doing it. But if you've already got a positive mindset, you sit down, you're like, yes, let's do this. I can do it. It looks great. Or, oh, I'll fix that later. I made a mistake there. It doesn't matter. Keep going. I think it's all about your attitude.
What motivates you to paint? For me, because I have an exhibition coming up or someone's commissioned me work, that motivates me because it's an external factor.
Yeah.
Where I find sometimes when I want to do work just for myself, it's very hard to get the motivation.
Definitely.
How do you find the motivation? Where does your motivation come from?
I've noticed that if I don't paint, I'm just a miserable person. I get so depressed, and I think it actually regulates me. Like I need to paint for my mental health. But yeah, otherwise motivation. I'm really motivated to always get better. I think I'm obsessed with, I don't want to be perfect, but there's that perfectionism thing, which also like makes procrastination a problem. I love getting better and seeing progress and results. So I think I'm a super competitive person. So that really motivates me to be like, I can do this better. Yeah.
And are you competing with yourself? Are you
yes,
competing
just with myself. Yeah, definitely not. I don't want to be competing with other people. Yeah.
Do you find though, because of Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, do you find that it's just inherently there with artists that we are competitive, or do you try and avoid that?
Yeah, I do find those artists really inspiring, but Instagram's great to get inspiration, but it's also very depressing when you see people getting like the following they have, or like that can be the comparison like can get you down. And also making content is just a whole nother thing, like another job for an artist to do. But yeah, I guess just got to take the good from social media and just in moderation.
How do you stay in that creative process?
I guess I will, before I paint, I will have been on my phone for too long already. So I'm like, all right, podcast, sit down. And if I take a break, I lie on the floor and I'll look at my phone for and I'll give myself 5 minutes. And then, I don't know why, maybe because I'm sitting at an easel, like to lie on the floor on your back, I think it's good for my body. Especially if you're having a hard time painting, you can just like relax. It's like.
Do you start with a reference, a feeling, a single color? Where does it sort of come from?
Yeah, I think I do take a lot from my life now. Like, I'm very into like fashion and certain aesthetics. So I do take a lot from like things I already live and like decorate my house with or dress myself with. And then also like my emotional side of my life, like romance and like friendships and like ideas of like getting older, or like just the garden, the roses, just like everything around me that I kind of like take, and like that's going to be in my art. And then I make so many digital collages on Procreate. Like I have so many paintings I could make. It's just the paintings take a long time and I'm just very slow, and I think I'm always going to be that way. So I just have to accept it. But yeah, Procreate is all these digital collages, and then I will paint that collage. So she's not blue. There is some blue, but she's more purple. She's alone. So maybe the purple's more like a feminine depression. Like there's, and it's a bit surreal as well. She's holding like this glowing orb, like not quite sure what that is. And there's another one in the flowers. They're actually clouds. They were flowers and I changed them.
That's cool.
Yeah, so it's a very surreal idea of just like she's turned away, like she's not looking at us, so she's hiding something. Yeah, I think she's like a sad lady. She's got something she's like holding on to, like she's pointing to that glowing orb.
Is an orb like looking into a future? Is that what an orb is?
It's like, I guess it's open to interpretation.
Course.
But I think she's just sad about something, and there's something, she's lost it or she can't have it, and it's like it's separated. Yeah.
When I look at your artwork, it reminds me of music.
Oh, I love that.
So you know how artists write about their life and their story. I think your art is similar to that.
Yeah.
You're like drawing maybe subconsciously.
Yeah,
from
it's
things.
very subconscious.
You give me a very Lana Del Rey.
Yes,
like
I
if
love
I
Lana Del-
was to think of your artwork as a musician, it would be Lana Del Rey.
Oh, that is so nice. I love that.
I'll have to find some Lana Del Rey
Yes.
for the background. When you're standing in front of a blank canvas, what is the secret fear that still pops up even after years of creating?
I think the fear is that it's going to take a long time and I just can't do it. And I'm just like, I'm going to have to dedicate a lot of time to this. And like, is it even going to be worth it? Like, people going to appreciate it? It's like that thing people say, you put something on Instagram and you get like 5 likes. It shouldn't be about likes, but I think all artists just want to be appreciated and valued. So I guess that's the thing. It's like, is this going to be worth my time? Because I'm pretty confident I can always make it look good. And then there are sections of a painting where I might think, oh, maybe that's going to be really difficult and that's going to take me ages. Do I have the patience and like the discipline and to like push through those times where you don't want to do it? I think that makes you hesitate a lot. You're like, oh, that's gonna be tough.
What makes a successful studio session for you?
I guess a bit of a combination. If I have the time and I have been painting for all day, that is massive success. If it's the first layer, I don't care too much if it's not perfect yet. If it's that final layer and I'm doing a great job, that is success. But yeah, as long as I'm painting, I think that's the longer I can stay in there, the better. And the earlier I can get myself in there, the better.
You did mention the ugly stage and every artist goes through it.
Okay, great.
And it's often the hardest part to get over.
Mm-hmm.
With you, when your artwork does take quite a long time and you have to let it dry, and sometimes it's 2 days and your ugly phase is sitting there for 2 days.
Yeah.
What's your mental state over those 2 days? Are you thinking about the artwork constantly or are you allowing it just to be and you know that when you get back?
I guess it depends on my schedule, and if I can take a break, I'll allow it. But I know I'm going to feel so much better if I get in and just start and just be like, I'm just going to fix this one section and that's it. So just really lower the expectations. And then that helps you to like trick you to get in there and fix a little bit at a time, and slowly you overcome it and then it's done and it's amazing and you love it. Hopefully that's the goal.
When a artwork is near the end, how do you know when it's finished?
Oh, I know. Because you could just keep going. I could just keep going. I think it's always really late at night and I'm ready to do my signature and I just step back and I'm happy with what I've done. Like, there's nothing that majorly needs fixing. There are things that could be more perfect, but I'm like, sometimes that's okay. Like, it's okay that it's not. Sometimes that's a better thing. I know often it is. Like, sometimes I'll look back at a painting it could have been done ages ago. I should have just left it and I preferred it less polished. I think that's something a lot of artists struggle with. Maybe not, maybe it's just some artists, but yeah.
No, we all struggle.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Have you ever finished an artwork and signed it? And you sort of sit with your art sometimes, like it's around your house. Mm-hmm. So you see it and you're like, oh no, it's not good. And you go back and redo it? Or
sometimes I will, but I think most of the time I think that was a moment in time and it's done and I'm going to accept it for what it is, and hopefully I'll learn from whatever that was. Like, next time I would do it way differently. So I try to think of that section that I'm not happy with as a learning experience, and like most people who look at it aren't going to care. Like, only the artist knows what you're like, I wish I did this, or I'm not happy with that bit. So, and sometimes you can just like grow to love that bit. Like, it's not perfect and be like, I actually don't mind how I did that.
What is one thing you do in your process that an art teacher would tell you is wrong, but for you it is the secret to your style?
I think I overblend things and paint too thin. Like, I probably could finish a painting faster if I put paint down thicker, just slightly. and I didn't obsessively go like get a soft brush and go over and over and over. Like it's just like too much and things get too over blended. Maybe if I'm sticking too closely to the reference photo, I'm changing a bit. Like I'll change things in the painting as I go now. I don't use any medium with my oil paints. It's just called medium, which is a mix of like solvent and linseed oil or some kind of oil to thin out your paint or thicken it, or like all different things you can do.
Why do you choose not to use a medium?
I just don't think I need it the way I paint. I think if you painted thicker, maybe I should try it again. It's been so long. But maybe it can help the paint dry a bit faster, or it just changes its consistency. Sometimes straight out of the tube it's very thick. So if you want it more liquidy, you can add that.
I think these things that we think are mistakes or errors are the reason why our artwork is different.
Yeah, true.
Because if we did follow all the stock standard rules, then our artwork would all be pretty much the same.
Yeah,
so I think it's important that we understand that we don't have to always follow the rules. And
yeah, no, that's good. I love that.
And that's why you have a particular style. Like maybe not having a medium in there is that's why you get that effect.
Yeah.
We all love professional supplies. But what is an unprofessional or cheap item that you use in your studio?
I guess a lot of paper towels. I use like beauty blenders for charcoal, like the sponges. You can buy really cheap ones just to like tone your paper or blend and smooth things out.
Had anything go in the bin?
Yeah, I threw some things out today. I let them go. Like sometimes projects are unfinished and they never will be. I think I was trying to do a portrait with pastel pencils and I just was like, I'm not trying to learn a new medium. I'm done.
Yeah, let's talk about this medium thing. So I know a lot of artists who try different mediums and I think it's fantastic because then you can figure out what you like and what you don't like. But then they get overwhelmed and never really pick a medium, or they never find their voice or style. I hear that a lot from artists. Like, I don't know what my style is or my voice is.
Yeah.
What was it that made you finally hone in on portraiture and oil charcoal?
I think just keep making work. Like I did go through that stage. I used to do watercolor. I used to do printmaking. I used to do so many things, and all these things can add to each other. Like drawing and portraiture go so nicely together, even watercolor. Yeah, I guess you do need to just pick eventually if you want to master one, or you can just keep doing them all. I just decided I just loved oil paint the most, and it's something I could do in my studio at home. And with charcoal, I love that because it's a break from the slow oil painting. It's something I could do much faster and bigger and quite expressive and like physical. So it's a nice break from that, and they can complement each other too. And drawing I like to do like when I'm out and about in my sketchbook. Drawing and painting always go really nicely together. Drawing is great for everything. Everyone should draw.
It's handy when you're out and about.
So great. I think you just got to keep making more and more art, and then you'll find your voice.
And were you doing other things other than portraiture? Like were you doing, I don't know, landscapes?
Oh yeah, I paint a lot of hot rods as well.
Hot rods, yeah. Which is like a portrait.
Yeah.
I think like objects are like portraits, don't you reckon?
Yes, absolutely. They definitely are. They definitely have their own character. Yeah, I'm not really into still lifes, but I love them. I love like florals and like, so I guess I try and incorporate fun aspects into portraiture now instead of just doing a face. I'm starting to incorporate more like surreal and like aesthetic things from my life into portraiture. So then I just get to do everything still.